Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Well, it's certainly been a been an odd week in terms of weather. I mean, starting off last week with an absolute scorcher, certainly on Monday and Tuesday, and then very quickly progressing into what happened to be a very, very cold Friday to, well, today, really. So, yes, welcome, one and all, to the Good Morning Walk. Of course, on a Sunday today rather than Saturday, because I had JCI stuff to do on that day. I had a meeting to prep for National Board or National Council meeting to prepare for. But like I say, don't worry, you're not missing out on a Good Morning Walk. Like I say, here we are today, bringing you the best of what, what I say, quote, the best of what happened, of course, this week. But yes, as always, we'll let people filter on in. So, like I say, please do remember to hit that share button, sharing around to one and all. And of course, good morning. Who have we got? Good morning from Samilia. Good morning from Helsinki. Alan, good morning to you. Catholic, good morning to you. Christoph, good morning to you. Quasi Quetch, good morning from Utrecht. Xavier, good hello sir from Romania. Fox, Border, I'm guessing that's good morning. FSM, good morning to you. And SE, good morning to you. Crowbank, good morning to you. So, yes, so good morning. And yes, welcome, one and all, to the Good Morning Walk. And I suppose it's best to start off with, let's start off with, I suppose, the chaos at Dover, since it's already being mentioned at morning. Oh, Tilly, good morning from Wakefield. Good morning to you. Like I say, I'm only one down from you, down in Barnsley. Welcome. Oh. Mark, good morning to you. Henk, good morning to you. There we go. So yes, good morning. One and all, welcome to the Good Morning Walk. And I suppose we'll start off with what's going on down in Dover. Oh, hello from Hottie, Austria. Good morning to you. Well, guten Morgen, I suppose it is. Is it still the same? Although, yeah, it's still the same roughly, isn't it? I think it is. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, certainly quite a very, very interesting situation developing down at Dover. So for those of you who may have missed out, allow me to sort of catch you up what's been going on down at Dover, because it should be, I don't know how many people are sort of aware, but Dover is like the main port for the UK. Not only is it responsible for well, all cargo practically, but also, as it is the shortest crossing point, it is also a prime spot for tourists as well. So, as we always talked about, in any eventual Brexit deal, Dover was going to be the prime spot where chaos was always going to break out. We've had years to prepare for this. We've had 6 years. Think about that. We've had 6 years in the making to prepare for the chaos at Dover. And that's where we are. 6 years to prepare. And what's happened? Well, it's exactly what we always said would happen. You've got a really big situation where queues are building up, not only of cargo, but also passenger traffic as well. Oh. Passing of the ponies. Because I know that's why you all come here. I know that's what you're all really here for. So we've got a huge situation where these queues are going to cause huge economic problems because it's slowing up supply chains. It's blocking up, the southern England roadways. It's blocking up those major arteries. So this is going to have a knock-on effect for the part of southeast England, in and around Kent. And of course, it is very worth bringing up that, the majority of people down there did vote for that type of Brexit. Well, at least they'll say that's the type of Brexit that they both voted for. As we said, the Brexit referendum wasn't exactly, shall we say, the best worded to actually try and define what type of Brexit people actually wanted. And so that's what we're left with. And of course, this is sort of the first time we're hearing about this, partly because the pandemic sort of put all these things off. It sort of stopped this travel for the past 2 years. But of course, what's happened in those past 2 years? Officially, Brexit has been sort of done, according to Boris Johnson. And of course, what's got to happen? Well, because we went for, or at least the Tories and the Brexit zealots pushed for the hardest Brexit possible, there now has to be a hard border. And what you are seeing is essentially the hard border at work. Because I'm sure you've seen a guy called, I think it's Sam Coates. He's been doing the rounds. He's been the travel expert. He's been the travel expert that's been doing the rounds on Sky News, especially, and not only Sky News, but the BBC, pretty much all the sort of major news in and around the area of this. And he's basically said, look, This is because of Brexit. You've got to show your passport. They've got to be stamped because that's what the British government wanted. And you have seen in certainly the past 2 days, every single Brexiteer from, Liz Truss. I don't know if Rishi Sunak said anything about these queues, but Liz Truss, most of the papers trying to blame these port checks, or these checks that the French now have got to do because this is what the British government asked for, that is causing these queues. And I've often said for years, when these queues start to happen, when people actually start to realise that actually no, these queues are actually, pretty serious and are going to be damaging to many people's holidays, at what point are people going to realise, or at least start talking about the fact that they want to go back to the way things were? And of course, that would be freedom of movement. So this is becoming, I think will be certainly, for the next couple of days, certainly the top news in this area. But of course it gets even worse when you think that a couple of years ago, the port of Dover, hang on, it's a bit windy. It gets a bit worse when you knew about this and applied to the government to have more room to be able to conduct these checks. And of course, what did the UK government do? They turned it down. Because what is the Port of Dover built for now? It is and always has been built off very, very much since freedom of movement for roll-on, roll-off traffic. And that has been very, very much the case for a lot, if not all, very much the case since Brexit. And we've already been seeing these problems at the port. So all you had to do was throw in that bit of travel chaos, and the recipe for it was finally complete. That if you do A, B would happen. And of course, what we needed was an answer. How do you avoid these types of situations? You can't hear, it's too windy. Mitch, thank you very much. 13 months of ponies. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for being very much being a member of the Pony Club for 13 months. Thank you very much. Again, like I say, unfortunately, are in an open field. I will go and try and get a microphone, but like I say, I've tried before with a lapel mic and for some reason it didn't work. So I'll try and sort a solution out, but even if I did get a mic, we're still going to have a problem with the wind. Unfortunately, this is what you do when you have a good morning walk, you know, outside. You've sometimes got to deal with the elements, and that includes the wind. So all this is entirely a situation of the Brexiteers' own making. And it is hilarious to watch. I'm not going to lie. The papers, the Express, saying that it's the French fault for doing this, saying that the checking points were not fully manned, when we know that's a lie. Because the French came out immediately. The French, not only one of the French MPs for Calais, but the actual French border, I think, force came out and said, no, we are fully staffed. You know, we haven't sort of, you know, gone away. This is full staff. And a lot of people, even Dover, has come out and said, look, this is what you can expect from now on. And as I just said a few moments ago, how long until people get fed up of waiting in these queues? How long until people go, can't we go back to the way things were? And oh, trust me, that will happen. Because it's already happening. There was an interview on Sky News with one of these families. Now, of course, they didn't ask them which way they voted in Brexit, but they already said, oh, you know, we used to go to France all the time. It wasn't a problem like this. You know, can't we go back to the way things were? Trust me, that will become very much the mantra of that. And of course, yeah, FSM's right. Wait until you get the biometric checks in. That's going to be an even longer process then. Because then you've got to actually get people out of the cars, not just check the passports as well. And if this queue is being caused just by checking of the passports, how long is it going to take when you've got to take people's biometrics as well? You know? So yeah, it's going to be very, very fun to watch this play out, because I'm waiting for the stories of, you know, the EU ruined my holiday. That's the story I'm waiting for. How dare the EU ruin my holiday? You know, I voted for Brexit. This isn't what I wanted. How dare the EU get their petty revenge by ruining my holiday? And of course, not Theresa May, Liz Truss came out and said that she blamed the French as well. This seems to be once again the cry. Once again, it's anything but Brexit. But the fun story about this is that even the papers, even the pro-Brexit press, as much as they try and blame the French for these problems, even they are having to admit this is a Brexit problem. And trust me, you've got a ton. Let's face it, most of the people who are travelling, doing these types of journeys are very, very much middle class. And they are going to find themselves shouting, hey, can't we go back to the way things were? And this is going to become a rolling story. Every year, travel chaos down at the port of Dover. Long queues at the port of Dover. This time, every year, you will be able to set your watches by it. And then this is going to drive a lot of people to realise, yeah, maybe Brexit wasn't such a good idea. Or maybe there's a way we can get back to how things used to be. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a very, very interesting prospect. Oh. Sleepy pony. Oh, there you go. Got another one here. Now then, let's see if we can try and get through. Morning, morning, morning. How are you? Squeeze on through. There you go. Oh, Conservator, good morning to you. Yeah. Like I say, I do apologise for the wind, but you know, there's very little I can do about it, unfortunately. I can't control the weather, but at least we've got ponies this morning. They are once again out in the field, so Conservator, you turned up right at the exact point. I think Patrick as well. I think I just saw you sneak in there as well. Yep, so good morning to you. So yeah, overall, this chaos at Dover, it's going to be very, very interesting to see the reaction, which way this goes. And it will be interesting to see if at any point during these hustings, or at any point during these meetings that both Truss and Rishi Sunak are having, to whether this is brought up as an issue, because it'd be very interesting to hear what they have to say about these issues. Because I don't know if you saw yesterday emerged that there was a video had come out, and this video was of Liz Truss being filmed down in Tunbridge Wells talking to the party faithful, and we'll be going over that next Wednesday. Oh, there we go. But one of the other things I wanted to talk about today was, for the first part of the leadership contest, Sunak was against tax cuts. He was massively against tax cuts. saying that, you know, these are impossible to do. And yet now he's, you know, preaching to the voice, the Conservative Party members, not the MPs. And he came out just a couple of days ago in one of these hustings, it's been reported, that he's going to do tax cuts you can believe in. So I've got no idea what that actually means. Tax cuts you can believe in. Doesn't exactly seem to make any serious economic policy. Not only that, we've also had news that they're going to be tougher on immigration. Rishi Sunak wants to put a cap on how many refugees we can accept, while Liz Truss is trying to be even harsher by saying that she'll deport more and accept less. And of course, it's typical Tory rhetoric, very, very much trying to target the Tory party faithful, and again playing to the right wing of the Tory party. And what was very interesting was that this morning, when this was announced, they got on a local chair of the Conservative Party, and she's from very much the home counties. So she's not from one of these coastal regions where they would see this, and they have reacted in a very anti-conservative way. They've said that their members, while they are acknowledging that, you know, this is an issue that, you know, needs to be dealt with, they're asking that these refugees be treated in a more compassionate way. So that's a very interesting reaction from a local Conservative Party leader. Like I say, there are those Conservatives out there, those Conservative Party members who are quite sane, who you can have, you know, a decent political conversation with, and aren't, you know, mad as a box of spanners. So yeah, make no mistake, the leadership contest is getting very, very interesting. And of course, they're making promises that they're not going to be able to keep. And it's so weird and bizarre, because you may remember just a couple of weeks ago, we went over the article in Conservative Home. And Conservative Home was laying out, you know, it's very much the Conservative Party membership blog. It's one of their big, you know, talk pieces almost, but it's not owned by the Conservative Party, but it practically should be. And they were saying, please, 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 don't vote for a populist. Do not put another populist in, because it won't end well. And yet, you look at all the polls that have come from Conservative Home, and they all show Liz Truss walking this. Honestly, Liz Truss is going to say the right things to the right people, tell the Conservative membership what they want to hear, and yeah, you're going to get an even worse. Trust me, Boris was bad. Liz Truss is going to be worse in 1,000 different ways. And like I say, we'll go and we'll watch on Wednesday the footage that was filmed of Liz Truss, because that was very, very interesting. Because it was Liz Truss filmed in a very, very, you know, talking to the party faithful. And it's nothing too, explosive, but it's typical Liz Truss. I think it deserves to sort of be mentioned and be talked about. And we will be going over on Wednesday some of the stuff that has been said about, and banded about during this contest so far. Because you've got, like I say, Rishi Sunak making a complete U-turn on tax cuts. Like I say, tax cuts you can believe in. What exactly does that mean? I don't understand the concept. I understand the concept of a tax cut, but a tax cut you can believe in. Doesn't sound that very much appealing. Yeah, Patrick's just posted the numbers from the YouGov poll there. Like I say, Liz Truss, honestly, all Liz Truss has to do is just turn up. That's all she has to do. It's Rishi Sunak who has the mountain to climb. And bear in mind, Sunak is not very popular in the Conservative Party because of the actions he took during the pandemic. Because he did sort of the furlough scheme and the business support scheme and stuff like that, there was a lot of very, very interesting things that went on during that period, which were very, very un-Tory. And that's why, among the membership, Sunak is not as popular as he might have been with Conservative MPs. And almost certainly, like I say, Truss is going to walk this. Unless she does something monumentally stupid. I mean, absolutely monumentally stupid in the next couple of days. Like, I don't know, she gets filmed saying like she's anti-Brexit or something like that. Or she has a very, shall we say, poor response to questioning or something like that. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. And of course, put it this way, Labour's going to be laughing all the way to the bank, certainly all the way to the next general election, because if you put Liz Truss in up against Starmer, then this is where you get a very, very interesting point of the Conservative Party is still going to be split on what it wants. Truss is going to play the exact same game that Boris Johnson played of promising everything to everyone, all these different factions, except I think she's going to massively overpromise on what some of these offers are made of. They're not going to be able to be fulfilled. We've talked about obviously what's going to happen in November. You're going to get the exact explosion of the cost of living crisis with a ton of other crises all piled on together. I've talked about the education crisis that's happening, that we're basically sleepwalking into, that they're not paying attention to on this channel before. The fact that we're going to be in a position soon where we haven't got enough new teachers coming into the profession to be able to fulfill those who left. And next week, we're going to do a very good article next week about demographics and about the demographic challenges that we face as an aging country. Because we are very, very similar to Japan in that respect. And a lot of people have said that where Japan is now with its aging population, we are like 10 years or so behind. And yeah, it's a very interesting article. Like I say, I'm looking forward to doing the video for you, so I won't spoil too much of it. Like I say, I do want you to come and watch it all with me when we do it. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. And you are right there, Patrick. That is part of the reason why the ERG put Truss in and went and backed Truss, because she is the most easily controllable of these candidates. And I think you're going to see a lot more ERG members being brought into cabinet. So that will be the interesting point of that these guys are really going to go gun-ho, full free market fundamentalist that they are, these right-wing libertarians, and they are really going to do a lot of damage in 2 years. They are going to do a colossal amount of damage in 2 years. I mean, you've already had Kersey Kwarteng sign up to the fact that now if a company is having striking workers, they can bring in a part-time labour force, and that is not going to go down well, especially when we've got a lot, and I mean a lot of strikes in the works. It's not going to go down very well, and already the policy is a bit, may or may not be, shall we say, reversed. We've got a lot of wind now, of course, as always. Wouldn't be a good morning walk without a bit of wind. Hope you're enjoying the wind this morning on the Good Morning Walk. Like I say, there's going to be a lot of people go, oh, get a microphone, get a microphone. Trust me, even if I had a microphone at this point, you'd still be hearing the wind. Can't really get away from it. But yes, morning. So yes, a lot of stuff is going to go on, I think, in the next, certainly the next couple of weeks, and certainly over the summer period. Things are going to get weird, certainly with the Conservative contest, because Rishi Sunak, to stand any chance against Liz Truss, is going to have to start throwing some serious mud. And then, well, Liz Truss herself is going to have to start throwing mud back. And then, of course, this is where Johnson, as we talked about before, might stick his oar in. Because Johnson very, very much wants Truss over Sunak, so that when, as Dominic Cummings said a couple of days ago, when she finally explodes, he can come in, or at least come back, and retake over. Or at least that's what his hope is. Whether Tory MPs will actually allow that or not is a different question. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, needless to say, but we'll have to see what happens. But I think it's going to get very, very muddy. Very, very muddy, very, very quickly in the next couple of weeks. Because they will start properly hammering into each other very, very soon. But yes, that's the wind. That's the wind indeed. But yes, as always, thank you very much for joining me today on, of course, the Sunday Good Morning Walk, or at least the Good Morning Walk on a Sunday. Like I say, thank you very much all for joining me today. It's been, very fun. Like I say, sorry for the wind, but I can't control it. And yeah, it certainly does blow away the cobwebs. Yeah, you are right, planetary citizen. You are right. Blown away the cobwebs. But yes, as always, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me today. Like I say, I can't control the wind, but I will try in the future. Like I say, have a good evening. Enjoy what's rest of your weekend. Come join us on Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock for our Wednesday live stream. We're talking all the stuff about what's been going on in the Tory leadership contest, as well as probably other things as well. And yeah, enjoy your Sunday. Get out. Remember to wear your sunscreen and all that. And please remember to hit that like and share button on your way out as well. Because like I say, it all helps. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page, One After Nation link, called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me a coffee. And of course, there's the YouTube subscription button as well, where you get little badges, emojis, and whatnot as well. Like you can see with Chthonic, Mitch, and Cathal OG, there they've all got their Ball Hatman channel badges. So, as always, like I say, thank you very much. Oh, there you go. Thank you very much for joining me today on today's Good Morning Walk. It's been fun. It's been fantastic. And yes, we'll see you all very soon for another Good Morning Walk.